This is my first vlog, and I want to talk about the disservices that we do to our black kids, because I think it really needs to be talked about. I'm going to talk about black boys first, because I've noticed some things in the past few months that made me realize why a lot of black men hate themselves and black women. And I didn't think it started so early, but I'm gonna run it down. The first thing that I noticed is colorism. And it's interesting because it starts really young. Colorism starts really, really young. When you tell a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old not to go outside because they're gonna be too dark. 4-year-old little black boy, something like that. When he just wants to play outside, he starts to get a complex early about being chocolate. And he starts to associate being white as better. I know this because it happened firsthand. I saw it. Little black boy, 4 years old, said he wanted to be white because his teacher told him that if he went outside, he would be too dark. True story. And when you start complexes like that, they don't want a little black girl. They won't want a little black girl. They think little black girls are ugly. They turn into grown men who think black women are unattractive. Facts. I don't believe that you can honestly have a strict preference on only dating light-skinned women or only dating white women without somehow having some type of complex. That's just me. Unless you are in an area where there aren't other black people, or you date interracially, you're just a swirler and you just tend to date outside of your race, that's different. Because I know black women like that, and I know several different people like that, but it's a big difference. The second thing I think is a real problem, and it's gonna sound a little crazy, but whenever there's a black event that is supposed to be centering black kids, it really centers black boys. It does not center black children. It does not focus on what black boys and black girls need to do. It's almost as if black people really see a huge difference in black boys and black girls. They both have to deal with racism. I don't know why people have this imaginary little myth going on, thinking that black women don't have to deal with as much racism as black men do, but we do. We face police brutality. We have horrible teachers sometimes that tell us that we're stupid and we're worthless too. Not only that, we get made fun of because of our hair and our beauty. Like, when you're a dark-skinned girl, there's a strong chance that you're going to get picked on the playground. Probably by other kids, like other white kids, maybe black kids too, that also have complexes about their skin tone. It happens. I've seen that too. And the reason I say it's really a tragedy to censor black boys and everything and not show that we, like, black boys and black girls have the same struggle, it divides us early, really early. I noticed a lot of black people always say that there's this huge divide with black men and black women, but that divide starts long before we can even understand that it's happening, before we're even teenagers. like it's this toxic like it's just toxic habit. It's like you're so-called tougher on black boys and say, well, you need to be a man and you need to do this and you can't be gay. But then you wonder why, well, why can't he emotionally connect with people? Why is he so homophobic? Why couldn't he tell us that he was in the closet? Why couldn't he tell us he was gay? It starts early. Like, that's extremely toxic. Not only that, it also shows that they're supposed to be the center. That even though there's black women that have the same types of struggles, their struggles don't matter as much as ours because we've always been the center. We've always mattered. When was the last time that if you went to a function, a black function, maybe a church function or an educational function, not Black Girls Rock, because that's like huge and that's just like BET doing their advertising thing. That's whatever. But like really, a local event and they're talking to black kids. When was the last time that you heard adults that are black speak to black girls in a positive way other than not having sex? And personally, I can't, and I go to functions often, and it's just like I don't remember the last time that's happened. It's more than just sex with girls. Like you're not teaching girls self-confidence. You literally teach them to put value in their sex. Literally. And then you get upset when girls are like, well, I had sex with him because I wanted this and I wanted that, and that's all I know. It doesn't make sense. Excuse me. And with black families, I've also noticed that black families coddle their black boys. It's like they're so spoiled. It's ridiculous. They get what they want. They don't have to do much to impress people at all. Black girl, she could go to college, pay for all her stuff on her own, get a house, have so many accomplishments, and it's just like, oh well, that's what you're supposed to do. Okay? But a black man cannot go to jail and not have kids. It's like, oh my God, he's amazing. Oh my goodness. No. No. Because I see an abundance of black women who have degrees and are so accomplished. They don't have enough potential partners that are equals at all. Like, they don't have enough. And I want to make it clear for anybody who's going to jump on any of the posts and say, well, there are black men who are educated. There are black men who are engineers. What do black women do? Don't do it to yourself. Now, on to black girls. I've touched on it a little bit, but I've noticed that my number one thing is I've noticed that black women and girls get talked to very negatively about our attitudes, our so-called attitudes. But 60% of black girls are raped by 18. 60%. That's more than half. More than half. And we still face the same racism as black boys, if not more. And you want to know why we have an attitude. And honestly, black girls are doing it. They are. And we don't congratulate them enough. We don't. At all. We're entrepreneurs. We're educated. Some are educated single mothers. That's awesome. It's hard to raise a kid. I don't have any kids, and I already know it's hard. Because I go to school and I work. And that's hard by itself. I can only imagine having a kid. And maybe not even having help. Maybe. The second thing is we don't teach black girls to explore. Honestly, explore. Far beyond what we see. We're taught to stay in a box. Be a Christian, get a black man, have kids, have a job. You should be happy. And that's it. We don't say, no, you can be an engineer. You can be a rocket scientist. Like, everything that black women, everything that we've done has felt like a lone accomplishment. And not saying that there aren't families out there that support their girls. That support their girls. Because there are. Because my parents are supportive of my sister and myself. But every girl doesn't have that. Matter of fact, we push black boys to be doctors and lawyers. We tell black girls, oh, you can be a CNA. You can be a med tech. Nothing wrong with those jobs at all because they pay the bills and they get it done. And if that's an accomplishment to you, girl, more power to you. But if you're capable of doing better and you don't push your child to do better, you're failing your child as a parent. That's any gender. That's any race. And sexuality. Another thing is black girls and sexuality. We try to scare black girls. Like, don't have sex. Don't get pregnant. And that's it. We don't sit them down like, listen, it's normal to feel like you want to have sex. That's normal. And you can even say as a parent, listen, I don't want you to have sex, but I want you to be prepared. Because this is what's going to happen. There are going to be guys out here like fuck boys, guys that only want to just fuck you. And they're going to be nice guys. And I want you to know how to choose. We don't do that for our girls. We let them settle. We literally let our girls settle. And it's not just about letting them date someone. Because you don't have the power to tell your child something like that once they're an adult. But it's also raising anxious ass dudes. You can't sit up here and be like, well, I want you to be with a black man. I don't want you to date outside your race. When your son is sorry. Her brother is sorry. And you want her to date in her race when you can't even raise a decent man? Hypocrite. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And stop making sex so scary. And stop making interracial dating so scary. Because, truth be told, a lot of abuses that happen to black women, a lot of deaths that happen are at the hands of black men when it comes to black women. That's just the truth. A lot of black women, they don't call the police when they're in a domestic violence situation. They don't want to press charges because they don't want to see another black man go to jail. You are letting your daughters, our daughters, be abused because you have them thinking like, don't call the police on another black man. Oh, well, we ain't gonna call the police on Tyrone even though he beat your face in, or I'ma handle it, like I'ma get Tyrone. No, we gonna call the police, we gonna press charges on his ass, he gonna go to jail, and you gonna have a restraining order. And if he come around you again, call the police again. Have everything on record. Because at the end of the day, who's really protecting our girls? You let uncles and cousins and brothers hurt your daughters. Who's protecting our girls? They don't even understand that certain types of abuses are wrong. There are black women that stay in toxic relationships, so much so that they go in debt, they have bad credit, and then he leaves and she's stuck in a bad situation. And I always found it interesting, like, you blame women, but you need to blame men for abusing women, using women. Who's okay with mooching? What grown man is okay with taking from a woman constantly? Like, that's not a man. You're not raising men. I just had to vent and get that off my chest. So